What's up guys, welcome to Finding Yugen. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ryan and this channel is all about responsible traveling while on a budget. Last week I gave you guys part 1 of what responsible traveling is and what responsible traveling isn't. So this week I'm going to give you guys part 2 with another 5 points for each category. If you haven't watched that video yet, make sure you check it out right here. Otherwise, let's get started with point 1 of today's video. Although these activities may seem super appealing or even bring us back to our childhoods, they're highly exploitative of the animals that are at the center of the show. Mistreatment is highly possible in these cases, and by giving our money, we are supporting said mistreatment. The reason I say most zoos and aquariums is because I do realize that there are many that have rehabilitation programs for animals to either return to the wild or house animals that cannot return. But the thing is, no one wants to spend their lives in a cage for the amusement of others. If you want to support wildlife, you can always go to conservation sanctuaries or visit national parks. A general rule of thumb here is that if you're able to come into close or immediate contact with animals that otherwise should not be used to human contact, it's probably unethical. When looking for accommodation, you want to look for what's more sustainable in terms of resource and energy consumption. Keeping this in mind, I usually first go with couch surfing and then go to Airbnb and then look at hostels and finally hotels. As Airbnb is kind of questionable when it comes to ethics, a worthy alternative is Fairbnb, a newer startup that works just like Airbnb. Like Airbnb, Fairbnb does charge a commission for booking through them. However, half of that commission goes straight to local community projects. Also, now that couchsurfing is paid, you can also visit Be Welcome as an alternative to stay with and form meaningful relationships with locals all around the world for free. When looking for hotels or hostels, make sure you check for green certifications from orgs like Green Key or Green Globe so you know that they have sustainable initiatives. As a general rule, try to avoid large resorts or all-inclusive packages as these are the highest bearers of excessive consumption. Avoiding all-inclusives is also a good idea because since the itinerary is usually planned out to a T, you often miss the chance to experience the local culture by leaving the resort, and you also don't get the chance to contribute to local businesses like I stated in the last video. When booking with tour companies, make sure you do extensive research on their motives and see if they have the best intentions of the community and the environment in mind. Look for reviews on websites that aren't their own and check for accreditations from orgs like these. Also be super mindful of greenwashing. A lot of companies will falsely express that they follow sustainable initiatives just to get bookings. This is why searching for accreditations and looking at reviews is super important. If you're traveling a long distance in a group, it's better to carpool as you guys will be efficiently dividing the gas used per mile amongst yourselves. Public transport like buses or trains are also great alternatives. Now I'm sure we all know how harmful flying can be for the environment, but actually if you're traveling alone and can't use public ground transportation for some reason, it's better to fly under the same principle of fuel expended per person. If you're traveling on ground, see if you can use a bike or walk, and if you're renting a vehicle, see what kind of hybrid or electric cars are available. Now I know we'd all love to be as sustainable as possible, but for some reason if the most sustainable avenue isn't available to you, just go with the next best thing. When you do something for others, it is absolutely normal to feel proud of yourself. It isn't every day that someone decides to leave their comfort zone to go help other communities. That being said, volunteer opportunities are often very short, and volunteers are often highly inexperienced, which means that the problem will probably still persist after you're gone. Therefore, it's important to keep the focus off of you when you're sharing these experiences with others. Try to not think of it as your experience, but as an experience for the people you're helping. What did you really do for them in the short time you were with them? Were you taking too much time taking photos or documenting yourself rather than giving your full attention to the project? And did you intentionally or unintentionally exploit their community to check off your bucket list? I think too many times we've seen the Insta photo of a foreign hero standing in the middle of a bunch of children who seem to act as trophies for that person's good deeds. In the caption, we only see how the experience benefited that individual, or they seem to describe how they themselves solved the community's issues in the short time they were there. Like I said, since the issue will probably persist, the best thing you can do when sharing your experiences is to spread awareness and tell people how they can help. In doing so, you're showing that you actually care by continuing your service beyond the time you were physically there. And just like I said with accommodations and tour companies, it's really important to do your research and look into reviews just to make sure the volunteer programs have the best wishes of the community and its people in mind. Take negative reviews very seriously as you want to make sure you're giving your time, effort, and money to a cause that actually cares. Remember, it is great to be proud of yourself as part of the solution. What's not great is to carry yourself as the solution itself. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people ruin something that should otherwise be uplifting and inspiring by bashing people that aren't already doing it. Sustainable travel is definitely something to promote. It can not only benefit your life, but it also benefits the community that you're visiting. But you won't win anybody over by acting like you're above them just because you're a more knowledgeable, responsible traveler. Everyone has room to grow, so it's always a good idea to offer what you can to help in a respectful manner. Alright guys, and that was part 2 of what responsible traveling is and what responsible traveling isn't. If there's anything I missed in the last 2 videos, make sure you guys comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in my next video.